evidence used in decision-making processes use of evidence is happening, but not optimally, and there's need for capacity development in that area. And so the LEAPS project implements a number of activities, including capacity development, technical capacity development, but as well as institutionalization of those capacities. But then also it provides a platform for knowledge sharing and exchange and learning among evidence-informed policy practitioners, but also with stakeholders in policy-making institutions as well, and researchers as well, and everyone in between that has an interest in ensuring that the policies and programs that we formulate, design, and implement are actually going to work and are actually going to be responsive to the issues that people are facing. So the partnership itself, and I see they are a little bit faster than I am, has 3 initiatives. One is led by ASED. I think you all now know ASED. ASED are co-hosting this conference this year. It stands for the African Center for Equitable Development, and they work collaboratively with IPER. We also have an initiative that is led by ACRES, which is the Center for Rapid Evidence Synthesis, and they have their partners as well in Ethiopia and Malawi. And then also another initiative that is led by AFIDEP with partners in Nigeria, the Africa Institute of Health Policy and Health System, and as well as the Africa Research Impact Network, and Makerere University School of Women and Gender Studies, which also has a cross-cutting role to play across the entire partnership. So we all have technical capacity strengthening activities. These are activities mainly targeted to individual policymakers, researchers, and other stakeholders at national level to strengthen their synthesis and translation capacities. So these are being carried out across the 3 initiatives, and we will hear more about how these policymakers were engaged. I won't go into too much detail. You can see them kind of listed there. I hope you can actually see because of time. So I'll leave it there for Abeba to then go into the main objective of this panel, is to hear from our panelists from government. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Violet. And I realized I never introduced myself as typical, I think, for me. But so I am Abeba Taddese, and I am with an organization called Results for Development. We are based in Washington, D.C., and my relationship to this conversation and panel is that we have been serving as a learning partner for the LEAPS partnership. And I see many faces in the room that I recognize. I have already made new friends. Please come say hello. I'm always interested in meeting kind of new and more people. So now I will sort of turn to our panelists, and we'll do sort of a quick round. If we could keep remarks to 2 minutes each for this quick round, but I'll start to my left with Engineer Peter Thobora. We would really like to hear more about sort of your experience with the EIDM Training and Mentorship program that you participated in with through the AIPA initiative. What worked well, and just if you could just briefly talk about your experiences with that.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Peter Thobora. This program responded to the weak capacity among decision makers, and especially in the public sector. And this find and use evidence. It covered quite a number of areas, especially in the areas of policy making, assessing evidence, appraising, synthesizing, and applying evidence. The program took about 6 weeks to come up with a policy brief where we zeroed in on clean cooking at the household level in Africa. That is for Kenya. The methods involve basically the review of evidence, that is, we do information that is sensitized from peer-reviewed databases, also energy citations, databases, and also other great sources, and especially like in the Office of the Scientific and Technical Information and the Google Scholar. The program worked well. We reviewed a number of these documents, and the program basically involves policy development and the implementation. And this was done through assessing and appraising and synthesizing and applying evidence, as we mentioned earlier, as we did our policy formulation. We looked at, for example, I've been involved in energy policy development in Kenya, so this knowledge was of value to me as we did our policy review, as well as undertaking other strategies in the energy sector where I work, especially in clean energy, clean cooking, and so on. This EIDM training mentorship can be effective when it's done by improving decision-making processes and helps us, policymakers in the energy sector in Kenya, to better understand and use evidence in developing policies and programs. The program also had a follow-up program and a mentorship where the trainees are followed up to ensure knowledge application is done, skills are also imparted and used, and also to track how and document how the participants are applying this knowledge. Also, the follow-up program assisted us to do the policy brief, and from that, from the knowledge that was gained, we were able to achieve that. Also, the follow-up also ensured that the agencies that are being trained applied what they have learned. That was our experience. It was quite good. Thank you.
Thank you for that. We'll move next to hear from Dr. Nassirou. What was your experience in the Training and Mentorship program? Did it align with your kind of interests? Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll repeat my question. So I'm moving to Dr. Nassirou. And it's a similar question, right? So a little bit about your experience with the EIDM Training and Mentorship Program that was provided through the ASED EPAR EPA Center for Excellence. What was your experience like? And did it align with your training needs and objectives?
Ok, merci beaucoup. Je voudrais commencer par souhaiter la bienvenue aux uns aux autres au Bénin et parler de l'expérience du Bénin dans le cadre de ce programme. C'est dire que je parlerai surtout de l'expérience de l'Observatoire de la famille, de la femme et de l'enfant, qui est l'agence gouvernementale mise en place au Bénin pour ce qui concerne la production et la gestion des données probantes sur l'action sociale. Alors, dans le cadre du partenariat que nous avons eu au niveau de l'Observatoire avec ASED, il faut dire que nous avons expérimenté les deux volets du partenariat, c'est-à-dire d'un côté le volet concernant la formation et de l'autre côté le volet concernant le mentorat. Alors, comme vous le savez bien, lorsque l'on est dans le processus d'utilisation des données probantes, il y a un certain nombre de leviers sur lesquels il faut pouvoir actionner pour être sûr d'aller vers des décisions qui sont bien éclairées par les politiques. Alors, ces leviers, nous les avons identifiés dès que nous sommes entrés dans le partenariat avec ASED. Entre autres leviers, nous avons pu identifier la question de la disponibilité et de la production même des données probantes. Ça a été un premier levier que nous avons identifié comme essentiel pour aller vers des décisions éclairées. Ensuite, nous avons identifié la valorisation des données. Parce qu'une chose est de les produire, l'autre chose est de les valoriser, de faire en sorte qu'elles soient utilisées, qu'elles soient mises à la disposition des décideurs pour des décisions éclairées. Nous avons également identifié la question de l'institutionnalisation même du recours aux données probantes et également l'utilisation de ces données dans les différents processus décisionnels. Alors, lorsque nous avons identifié cela, dans le cadre du programme de partenariat avec ASED, nous avons mis l'accent sur deux leviers essentiels. Le premier levier, c'est disons, le renforcement des capacités des uns et des autres en matière de production, de disponibilité et de valorisation des données. Et le second levier a été celui relatif, disons, au mentorat et l'accompagnement. Alors, par rapport rapidement au premier levier qui est le volet formation que nous avons développé avec ACED, nous avons travaillé en termes de modules sur les questions relatives à l'intégration du genre dans les politiques, les programmes, les projets de développement et également dans le cycle de la recherche. Parce qu'on s'est dit, il faut désormais voir comment est-ce qu'on institutionnalise le genre dans les processus de recherche. L'Observatoire de la famille étant une structure de recherche-action orientée vers les questions sociales. Et le genre étant transversal, mais étant fortement social, on a travaillé donc sur comment on intègre donc les outils et le mécanisme donc de la thématique genre dans tous nos processus de recherche. Nous avons également travaillé en termes de formation, sur l'utilisation de l'intelligence artificielle dans la production, la mobilisation et l'utilisation des données probantes. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, l'intelligence artificielle est un puissant levier sur lequel on peut agir pour aller vers la production de données probantes. Comment intégrer cette dimension dans la production, la mise à disposition des décideurs de données probantes, sur cela surtout qu'on a travaillé en termes de formation dans le cadre de ce projet. Et par rapport au mentorat, il faut dire que nous avons pu développer avec ACED un programme de coaching où ACED a recruté et a mis à la disposition de l'Observatoire une lauréate, donc d'après un processus rigoureux bien entendu. Alors cette lauréate a été mise à la disposition de l'Observatoire et bénéficie d'un double coaching. Un coaching d'un mentor qui a été désigné par ACED et un autre coaching d'un co-mentor désigné au sein de l'Observatoire. Et nous avons assigné donc à cette personne comme chantier de travailler sur le diagnostic même du dispositif de valorisation des données pour pouvoir proposer des mécanismes innovants qui permettent de faire en sorte que les données probantes soient plus accessibles, plus inclusives et soient plus à même de servir de socle pour la production donc, des données probantes. C'est donc dit que, et je voudrais finir là-dessus, que dans le cadre de ce programme, nous avons expérimenté aussi bien la formation qui nous a permis vraiment de renforcer suffisamment les capacités des acteurs institutionnels en matière d'inclusion, en matière de prise en charge, de prise en compte de la dimension genre et également les questions liées à l'intelligence artificielle qui sont des défis aujourd'hui qui s'offrent à nos pays. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah. Thank you for that really insightful overview and giving us a sense of sort of both the content and the way the mentorship program worked. I'm going to turn next to Dr. Obasi David. A similar question for you is if you could just tell us a little bit about your engagement in the EIDM Training and Mentorship program that the IEPA initiative facilitated. And, you know, in particular, is there anything that was different about the way that this training and mentorship program was offered? Anything that you would highlight? Like how does this differ from any other initiative that you've engaged in?
Thank you, Abeba. My name is Dr. Obasi David Ukoha. I'm a permanent secretary in the Directorate of Legislative Budget and Planning of the National Assembly of Nigeria. In my directorate, what we actually do is we support the legislators with evidence for them to take decision. Before the engagement with LIPS, and I want to appreciate Professor J.C. Uneke of the African Institute of Health Policy and Health Systems. He has been of great help to our directorate. Before now, there have been a kind of haphazard use of evidence in making policies in our parliament. During this engagement, this is the first of its kind, because all the trainings we've been having does not have a mentorship component to it. They will just train and go, no follow-up, no any effort to institutionalize